In this episode, we're going to talk about something a little more risque, a little more taboo. We're going to talk about night sex. So stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Same Page. I am your host, Lenard and Sarah, and this is my lovely wife,
Sarah.
And in this episode, we're going to have a candid conversation about night sex.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
So before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're enjoying our content, just to push that algorithm and to make sure that you receive all the new episodes that are upcoming. And I want to say a shout out to Thoughts with Jet, because he kind of stemmed this topic, brought it to the table. So shout out to him. Go ahead and give him a follow.
Absolutely. And so where to begin? Because I'm sure for a lot of couples in monogamous relationships, long-term relationships, the whole sex in a relationship becomes kind of routine. And then there are also questions about like the timing of sex and how spontaneous can you actually be.
I think that's like the main thing. How spontaneous.
Exactly. Or the lack of spontaneity.
Yes.
Right?
Especially if now you have kids or whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's sort of it doesn't have to be scheduled, but at the same time, it's just like you only have a short window.
Exactly. And the windows get smaller and smaller once
literally.
You have kids, right? So where do you want to start with this?
Well, the reason why I wanted to bring this to the table is because Lenard likes night sex. Night sex meaning like in the middle of the night, tries to like poke at me, like to see if I'm awake, to try to get some. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
Like, I'm sleeping. She's like, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, so I'm always like baffled at like, why is that the time that you choose to initiate sex? Because for me, it's kind of like I work very hard during the day. We have a young child. This is even before a young boy. This is my time to sleep, and I don't like to disrupt my sleep. So I'm always baffled, like, why during that time, for one, and for two, sex is very intimate in the sense that like personally, I like the whole foreplay. I like the whole like pre-sex. And when we're talking about night sex, there's none of that. It's more like, hey, like what's going on? You awake? All right, let's do this. And it's kind of like just physiologically, is that
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I need the whole thing. I need to be aroused, and I need to be sort of like primed. I guess you could call it like that. So it happens once in a while, but it's not where it's the most enjoyable for me.
Fair enough. And to that point, the fact that you need that you're not necessarily primed at that time. For me, I am. So it's to a point where like literally like I'm at attention. At that point. Whether it's between like the middle of the night or early morning, it just seems that that I guess for me like those are my windows where it's just my soldiers at attention.
Okay.
Right. So like I'm aroused, I'm ready to go, but then I can see your point, the fact that for you still need that kind of like foreplay and that arousal to get yourself into that mood.
Yeah, that time.
Exactly.
Right? And honestly, like I like kissing, I like the whole body touching and all of that. In the middle of the night, like I'm not like in the mood for kissing and all of that, like, So I don't know, like it does happen, and sometimes it's good, and it's like, oh, okay, like surprisingly, but like in a sense I'm like, okay, I wasn't in the mood, but then we just started like fooling around, and I guess it had happened, and it was like, okay, fine. If you climax, then you're like, okay, well, I'm satisfied now. But at the same time, like oftentimes, even for me, the best times is like after a long day, we're just chilling on the couch. the mood is sort of like set. It's quiet, or watching a movie. We're both kind of like being cuddly or whatnot, and that's a perfect time to start the foreplay and whatnot. But like Leonard is like clueless. He's just like, I'm watching TV though, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, to me that's a perfect time. And as a woman, I think I'm not sure how other women feel, but I'm not sort of like, in my brain, it's like I still think the guy should make the move most of the time. And I think in our marriage, like I have learned, okay, well, this is Leonard, like, you know, he's my husband. I can make moves once in a while too. But at the same time, like if I make a little move, you know, and it's like,
then I have to take over.
Yeah. And it's like it's not, yes, you have to take over, or if it's not reciprocated, or if you don't like understand my move, you know, sometimes it's just a little like, you know, caress, or it's nothing obvious. And I feel like sometimes Leonard needs more clues, like, hey, you know, I'm trying to get your attention here. But him, he's just like, if it's not more obvious, he's kind of like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and like I think, in all honesty, like I don't want to say, maybe pitfalls is not the right word, but like when you're in a monogamous relationship and it's been a while, like those subtle hints, I guess you almost kind of take it for granted, right? Or it's not. It doesn't have the same effect as if we were at the beginning of the relationship.
Oh, like you feel like, okay, well, I don't understand what she means.
Not that I don't understand. It's just that it's at least for me, it's not so obvious.
Okay, yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think we're saying the same thing in different words. Yes. Okay, I can understand that. So I think my issue is that I have to be more upfront, you know, and more blunt with like, hey, I don't know if I have to say it with words or me be more straightforward with my gestures, but I lack that, right? So when it doesn't happen, let's say before we go to bed and we're like, okay, you know what, forget it, he's not in the mood, and then at like 3 a.m. he comes and like tries to get some, I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't understand, you know? To me, it didn't match. I thought maybe you were in the mood, but all of a sudden at 3 a.m. you are. So that's something that's sort of like an ongoing thing in a relationship. And it's still ongoing because I feel like I haven't mastered the night sex, you know? I'm still, even though Leonard, that's his time, and night sex or morning sex, because I think you're big on that too. Me, I'm like waking up, I want to get my morning going, and I'm like, I want to do my reading, I want to do my stretching, I want to go straight to exercising or whatever I do in the morning. But if I linger and if I stay in bed, and sometimes I do, you know, and I think, yeah, sometimes I do. But then it sort of like delays my whole day, and I'm like, ugh, it was good, but then I don't know, there's like a whole thought process that comes with it, which is why I just prefer it being, you know, before bed.
Yeah. All that to be said is that it's never, I don't think it's straightforward when it comes to sexuality, especially in a monogamous relationship. Especially if you obviously like, I feel like I know Sarah pretty well, and I feel like, you know, like I'm in tune with her. But as far as my timing and our rhythm, a lot of times we've been a little off.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. And I want to know, like, is this a man woman thing, like male female, or is this like an us thing, you know? Does this happen in other relationships? Do men mostly want to have sex mostly at night or early morning? Is that a thing for men, or is it just the way we work, right? And they may not necessarily be a straightforward answer. And
no, of course not.
They may be. Yeah. If there's something physiological that makes men more aroused during the night and in the morning, that you know, we all know about, like morning arousal and whatnot.
Yes. We can say it, morning wood.
You know, I was trying to be proper.
Yes.
But is that a thing? And do women mostly want the night sex for the reasons that, sorry, not the night sex, like before sleeping sex, for the reasons that I named, namely, like, you know, the foreplay and the kissing and all of that. So let us know, like, what do you guys do? Are you struggling with that? Are you not? Is this, you know, are you guys always on the same schedule?
Always in sync.
Always in sync.
We envy you guys.
Yes, because we're definitely not always in sync.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the conversation we wanted to have with you guys. Let us know what you think. And as always, please like and subscribe. We thank you very much for all. We reach 100 subscribers. It may not be a lot,
but thank you.
But we thank every single person who clicked that.
And very grateful for all of you.
Absolutely. All right.
Till next time, guys, don't forget to live your truth.